Again the earth and heaven prospered for another season of 200 years, and in the next there were 5 billion souls delivered. And new gods and lords succeeded, who also prospered, but not as well. The next harvest was 4 billion souls. But once again, false lords and false gods began to set up kingdoms of their own, in heaven and in the cities of mortals. And, lo and behold, look and see, everyone called himself either Thor or Apollo. And the spirits who manifested in the temples and for the oracles, all gave one of these names. And mortals who were obsessed, believed themselves to be the reincarnation of Apollo or Thor, the obsessing spirits calling themselves by these names. Others, more intelligent, said, "Did the prophets not foretell that there was to be a second coming of Apollo? And are these spirits, who appear through the Sergius, not the very person?" So great became the superstition of the nations of the earth, that in the fall of Oahspe, they found proof of the second coming of Apollo or Thor. Many of the spirits deserted the second resurrection in heaven and returned to the earth, to wait for information concerning the coming event, as they suppose, though there was no event coming. Jehovih said, "All corporeal worlds pass through the age of too much belief. As I gave man judgment so that he could examine and weigh a matter, so does he run into unbelief. Then my angels go to him, and show him where he believed too little. But, lo, look, he goes to the other extreme, believing all things, and not using his judgment." God said, "Why will men and angels not be patient, and wait till a matter is proven meritorious, true, before they pursue it to extremes? The same sun shines, the same stars stand in the heavens, and the earth travels steadily on her way. Yes, her winds blow, her summers and winters come as in ancient time. Yet man sets up a notion that a great wonder is near at hand. But no wonder comes, and nothing new is near. How shall I, the God of earth and her heavens, restrain them who are under my watch, O Jehovih? Their desires for Apollo call down millions of spirits from my places of resurrection. And they fall in trials and hardships, and become suitable prey for designing false gods and false lords. But no other salutation came other than the echo of God's own words. So God and his lords bewailed the darkness of earth and her heavens. But high up in the Etherian heavens, came the light of Jehovih, came the voice of Jehovih, saying, "Hear your Creator, O you gods and goddesses. Behold the magnitude of my works. I, Jehovih, do not labor for the profit of this man or that man, no, neither for this people nor that people, nor for the inhabitants of one star and one heaven, but for the glory of millions of stars and millions of heavens. Does one corporeal man not bewail a shower of rain, and yet his neighbor rejoices because of it? One man prays for sunshine, and another for shade. Do not think that I, Jehovih, labor for each one separately, but for the perfection of the whole. For what reason, then, shall the God of earth and his lords bewail the darkness that falls on the earth at this time? I, Jehovih, have prepared places of darkness in the Etherian firmament, and places of light, and my corporeal worlds must travel through them, for so I created them. And these places of darkness and places of light are like changes of seasons for my harvests. Now the earth passes into deep darkness, for I, Jehovih, fructify, yes, enrich the races of men in new corporeal growth, for things that shall come afterward. As they absorb from the agi of my places, in this age, so, also, do their souls become full of superstition and darkness. Thus the earth went into great darkness during the last 600 years of the cycle of Thor, and there was no harvest from her for the Etherian heavens. But the spirits deserted Atmospheria in millions upon millions, and went down to the earth, to dwell with mortals, and to find places to live on the corporeal earth. And, except to the Ihans, the light of Jehovih was shut out from men, thus ambition for improvement was at an end. They became like drones, parasites, and vagabonds, drifters, and, when they died, their spirits continued to lie about in the places of their mortal life. And many of these spirits persuaded mortals to suicide, and they killed themselves by thousands and tens of thousands. Nor was there any courage among men to endure anything under the sun. They wanted to be with the spirits of the dead, to talk with them, to see them, and to be rid of earthly trials. Neither did the spirits who congregated on earth have any knowledge of the higher heavens, nor could they impart knowledge as to where they dwelt, nor how they employed their time, for, in fact, they did nothing useful for heaven or earth, nor even for themselves. Thus ended the cycle of Thor, and the time duration, was 3,200 years.